YouTube. Well, it is January 30th, and I have been on the road since January 4th. I've been rolling. So I thought I'd go over my miles and the loads I've taken and how lucky I have been for this month. So right now we're in Minnesota, and it's a beautiful day in Minnesota. It's about it's in the 40s right now, and it's about, I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning or whatever. We're gonna be picking up all that stuff right there, and we're taking it to El Paso, to our yard there. It goes over to Mexico. Mexico. Look at that guy there. That's a happy guy. He has had a great January. He's run close to 10,000 miles this month. He hasn't been shut down for weather. He hasn't had to really tarp or untarp in bad weather. A little bit of cold weather in Vermont this month. So this load's taking him to El Paso because he's going on home time the following week. Everything is going really well for him. Well, it's been about 2 weeks since I did that opening video, and we never made it to El Paso. So on that load, the guy loaded me up and everything. I had to tarp the first section of it because it had a motor with it, so it couldn't get wet. So while I was putting the tarp on there, at some point, I fell off the front of the trailer and was knocked out. Here's the thing. I don't remember falling off the trailer. I don't remember how I fell off the trailer. There's nothing in my brain that remembers my hand slipping, my foot slipping, or whatever. I just remember that I was on the trailer working with that tarp, and the next thing I know, I woke up in an ambulance. It was at a family farm, and the guy that loaded me, luckily he hung around, because I guess he saw me fall off the front of the trailer, which the front of the trailer is usually taller than the back of the trailer, and it's close to 5 feet. So if I was standing on that trailer 5 feet off the ground plus standing, that's a good 11 feet that I fell, hitting my head, my wrists. So I was knocked out for an hour. And I didn't learn that for about 5 days afterwards, how long I had been knocked out. But ambulance came out there, scooped me up. They took me to the closest ER because I was about 45 miles from downtown Minneapolis, and they took me to an ER. Evidently, when they got there, they realized that they needed more. That I needed more than they could do. So they put me back in the ambulance and sent me to Minneapolis. I don't remember any of that. I was still out cold. When paramedics are transporting to an ER, they usually talk to the ER and let them know the condition of the patient, me. And one of the things they always do is it's called A&O times whatever. And usually they ask you 4 questions. Your name, day, what time it is, those types of things. And if you can answer all those 4 questions, then they usually tell you A&O times 4. Therefore, the ER knows that this person is alert and aware of what's going on. Now, of course, in the beginning, I was A&O times 0 because I was knocked out. At some point, I came to. And the medic asked me questions, and I was A&O times 2. I could get 2 of the questions correct. I couldn't get the other 2. I knew who I was, and I knew it was daytime. I didn't know where I was at or what day it was. I remember in the ambulance, the medic talking to me a little bit. I don't really remember much about the conversation, other than he was, very professional and calming. I remember seeing my wrist, looking at my wrist because I felt the pain, and I remember looking at it and I could see it lumped, so I knew my wrist was broken at some level. But I didn't know what else was wrong with me at that time. So by the time I got to the ER, I was still not very coherent. I didn't really know a lot about what was going on with me. Everything seemed pretty fast, to be honest with you. It seemed like a lot of people there. It seemed like it was a different nurse talking to me, or a different doctor or something like that. So it was probably a true scene out of ER. At some point, a nurse brought me my phone. Now, I don't carry my phone on me when I'm loading or unloading and securing. I always keep my phone in my truck because I don't want to break it or lose it. So that meant that the medics went into my truck and got my phone and my wallet. And those came with me. So I remember the nurse asking me how she could get into my phone or whatever, and who I needed to call. Melton had already knew what was going on. But I didn't know that. Anyway, I remember my passcode and stuff like that, and I wanted them to call my sister Donette first, because my sister Donette, I always she's together. She knows how to get things taken care of with getting information to my parents and my other sisters and stuff like that. So I felt like she was the more logical. She did not answer. So I had him call my sister Stacy, and Stacy did a great job getting that information to my parents and letting them know what was going on with me. And while I was in the ER, the doctor told me that I had lacerated a kidney, my left kidney, and I was bleeding internally. And I remember when he told me that, I kind of looked up at an angle, and I could see, they got the little stand with the IVs and stuff like that. I could see a pint of blood there. And he said, "Yeah, that's your second one." So I had 2 pints of blood. And he said, "Well, we need to go in, and we need to fix your kidney." And what they do is they go in your groin, just like with my heart. So basically, they're going in the same place that I've had 3 other times for my heart, and go in there with a camera and a thing. And what they said they were going to do was put like a metal plug in there and repair that wound with a plug. Okay. So they wheeled me into an operating room, and they did not put me out. I was not out, but I was very numb. I did not feel anything. But I remember being awake through it. And they went in, and while they were in, I remember him telling me, he goes, "Well, your body repaired itself, so we do not have to put that plug in." So my kidney repaired itself and was not bleeding anymore. So I got lucky there. My brain injury, because I was out for an hour, anything over 30 minutes is considered a traumatic brain injury. But I got lucky there too. I did not have any bleeding on the brain. So I never had any kind of thing like that. I have not lost any information other than that hour. I remember everything about my life. Passwords, phone numbers, people. There isn't anything I can't remember. So I got lucky that way as well. When they first had me walking around, after about 4 days, they had me start walking around. I remember in the distance, my vision was a little blurry, but that went away after a day, so I don't have that anymore. And walking, when I had my heart surgery, when they had me walk, I seemed real weak. This time I didn't seem weak. I just felt unsteady on my feet, really, is what I felt. So they had me walk with a cane for a day or so. I don't walk with a cane anymore, and I don't feel unsteady on my feet. But it was kind of weird at first trying to walk after it, but I don't have any lingering situations for that. So those are 2 things I got lucky with. The third thing was I broke my wrist in 2 places. Both breaks were clean, meaning they did not move. So I'm not going to have surgery on my wrist, which is very good as well, because having surgery would mean longer time down to fix that, and a surgery. So right now I'm in a cast. They did not put me in a full cast, which I'm kind of happy about, but because one of the breaks was near my thumb, they had to basically what they call splint my thumb, so I can't move my thumb, can't lace up shoes. So I wear my Skechers all the time. This happened on January 30th, so I will probably be off my truck at least 2 months. I'm here in Tulsa at in a hotel room with a kitchen, as you can see behind me. Basically, I'm doing light duty at the Tulsa terminal, getting paid to do that, and workman's comp. Next week, after I see a doctor, I'm going to go home for about 5 days and see my family and stuff. I do have those. I was supposed to be going home for doctor's appointments, so I had to push those back. So I'm going to do that next week. I apologize for getting emotional about it. It's been about 2 weeks since it happened, and I thought I was kind of over it. I guess I can be a little bit of a baby. I'm very fortunate again. In the past 2 years, I've had 2 major things happen to me, and I've been very lucky to survive both of them. I don't really know what to say. I'm not afraid to go back trucking or anything like that. I want to get back on my truck and do my job. I really still enjoy what I do. Right now, I can't really do anything physically too much. My kidney has to heal some more. It's a little bit painful, not much when I lay on it. I can't lay on my sides right now. But as far as walking or anything like that, I'm not in any kind of pain. My wrist doesn't hurt and my head doesn't hurt, and where all of that, it's pretty much healed up and stuff. So I didn't have to have any stitches either, which is kind of surprising. So all the way around, I'm pretty fortunate, I would have to say, that I survived another one. I feel kind of stupid about it, to be honest with you, because I feel like I pay attention to what I do and try to think of things, because I don't want to fall off the trailer. And I don't want Melton to, have any second thoughts about me or anything like that. But I will get back on the trailer. I will get back on my truck. I'm pretty fortunate to be able to talk to you right now, for sure. If you guys got any questions or concerns or anything like that, please put them down in the comments, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.